You opened the app just to look. You told yourself you were only browsing, no intention to buy, just checking. And then somehow, 20 minutes later, you're watching a confirmation email slide into your inbox for something you didn't need, didn't plan for, and couldn't fully afford. And the strange part is, you felt good doing it. That feeling is not an accident. It is not a flaw in your character. It is not proof that you have no willpower. It is the result of one of the most sophisticated psychological engineering projects in human history, quietly assembled over decades, specifically designed to override the part of your brain that says, wait. The real answer to why you can't stop spending money is far stranger than you think. Let's start with your brain. Your brain is not one thing. It is a negotiation between systems that evolved at completely different times for completely different purposes. The oldest parts of your brain, the ones wrapped around your brainstem, sometimes called the limbic system, are ancient. They respond to immediate rewards. They do not understand next month. They do not understand debt. They understand now, and they are very, very fast. The newer part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex sitting just behind your forehead, is the voice of reason. It plans, it calculates. It says, but do you really need that? It is also slow. It takes effort to activate, and it loses consistently when the older system gets a head start. The entire architecture of modern retail, both physical and digital, is built around giving the ancient part of your brain a head start before the slow rational part even knows there's a race. This is not speculation. It is documented science. In the early 1970s, a Stanford psychologist named Walter Mischel ran a now-famous experiment. He put children alone in a room with a single marshmallow and told them, wait, and you get two. Leave now, and you only get one. What he found, and what decades of follow-up research confirmed, was that the ability to delay gratification predicted an enormous range of life outcomes. What he also found, though this part gets less attention, is that the children who waited were not fighting desire with willpower. They were using strategies to make the marshmallow seem less real. They looked away, they sang songs, they turned it into a game. The modern consumer environment does the opposite. It makes everything feel more immediate, more real, more necessary, and it does this on purpose. Consider the checkout button. Before online shopping, if you wanted to buy something, you had to find your wallet, locate your card, enter 16 numbers, an expiration date, a security code, a billing address. Each of those steps was friction. Friction is time. Time is the prefrontal cortex waking up and asking questions. Amazon's one-click patent filed in 1999 was not just a convenience feature. It was the deliberate removal of every moment of pause between desire and purchase. The fewer the steps, the faster the ancient brain wins. The patent was so valuable that competitors had to license it. The entire industry studied it. The lesson was absorbed everywhere, but it goes deeper than convenience. In the 1990s, behavioral economists Richard Thaler and Shlomo Benartzi were studying why people consistently fail to save money. What they found reshaped our understanding of financial behavior entirely. People are not bad at math. They are not irrational. They are predictably irrational in specific ways that can be mapped, modeled, and, crucially, exploited. One of their key findings was something called hyperbolic discounting. Here is what that means. If someone offers you $100 today or $110 next week, most people take the $100 today. But if someone offers you $100 in a year or $110 in a year in 1 week, most people wait for the extra 10. The rational choice is identical in both scenarios. The only thing that changed is proximity. When a reward is close, when it is now, your brain dramatically overweights it compared to any future benefit. Retailers have known this intuitively for centuries, but modern technology has allowed them to weaponize it with a precision that was impossible before. The price tag that reads $19.99 instead of $20. Your brain registers the leftmost digit first. It reads 9, not 20. A single cent of difference creates a psychological gap that studies show can increase purchase rates by up to 20%. This is called left-digit anchoring, documented extensively by researcher Manoj Thomas at Cornell University, and every price tag in every store you have ever walked into has been calibrated using this effect. The sale that says was $80 now $40 does not tell you the item is worth $40. It tells you the item is worth $80 and you are getting away with something. The original price is called an anchor. Your brain latches onto it. The $40 price only feels cheap because the $80 is sitting next to it. This is anchoring bias, and its power over purchasing decisions has been replicated in hundreds of studies since Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman first described it in the 1970s. Remove the anchor and the $40 item feels ordinary. Keep the anchor and it feels like winning. But the most powerful tool in the modern spending machine is not a price tag trick. It is the removal of money itself. Pain. That is what economists call it. The pain of paying. Every time you hand over cash, there is a small but measurable neural response in the brain's insula, a region associated with negative emotions. The physical act of parting with something triggers something close to discomfort. Brain imaging studies from Carnegie Mellon University, led by researcher George Lowenstein, showed that paying by cash activates the insula significantly more than paying by credit card, and paying by a stored digital wallet, like the ones inside your phone, activates it even less. The further you get from physical money, the less real the pain becomes. Credit cards were not just a payment innovation, they were a psychological buffer. They inserted time and abstraction between wanting and paying. You consume now, you pay later. And later, as we've already established, is somewhere your ancient brain cannot fully imagine. Buy now, pay later apps took this further still, split it into 4 easy payments. The first one today. Suddenly $200 becomes $50, and $50 feels manageable in a way that $200 does not, even though the number is the same. You are not buying a $200 item. You are buying a $50 item 4 times. Your brain, which is excellent at evaluating single transactions and very poor at aggregating future costs, accepts this completely. Now add the phone. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day, according to research from the app analytics company App Annie. Every check is an opportunity. Every scroll is an environment engineered by teams of behavioral scientists, user experience designers, and data analysts whose sole job is to identify the exact moment your resistance is lowest and present you with something to buy at that exact moment. The notification that says back in stock, only 3 left. Scarcity. Your brain evolved to act on scarcity immediately because in the ancestral environment, scarcity was real and resources disappeared. The brain that waited sometimes starved. The one-day sale that ends in 47 minutes and 23 seconds. The countdown clock triggers the same primal urgency. Your cortisol rises slightly. Time pressure activates the threat detection system. And threat detection, once activated, wants resolution. Buying resolves the tension. The brain relaxes. You feel briefly better. That is the loop. Trigger, tension, purchase, relief. And then, because the relief is short, the loop resets. This is not metaphorical. It mirrors structurally the neurological loop of compulsive behaviors. Researcher Judson Brewer, a psychiatrist at Brown University, has studied how the brain's reward circuits respond to craving and release. What he found is that the feeling of relief after completing any craving-driven behavior is often more powerful than the actual pleasure of the reward itself. You do not buy the thing because you want the thing. You buy the thing because your brain wants to end the feeling of wanting. The designers of these systems know this. They are not selling you products. They are selling you the feeling of relief. The product is just the vehicle. So here you are, not a person with weak willpower, not someone who needs to try harder. A person with an ancient brain built for a world of scarcity and immediate survival, navigating a trillion-dollar system that has been calibrated down to the color of the button, the font of the price, the precise length of the countdown clock, to put your oldest instincts in the driver's seat before your rational mind has had its morning coffee. The next time you open the app just to look, some part of you now knows what is already in motion, and knowing it, really knowing it, is the only thing that gives the slow part of your brain a fighting chance, because the checkout button is still 1 click away, and it is waiting.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel